Hey everyone, Caffeine Man here, and today we are going over another Monster flavor, and that is the Monster Ripper. Is it true? Is there another drink that was overseas that has been brought to the US as a US version? Or is it similar to my last review? We shall see. Coming right up. Hello again everyone, thank you so much for joining me today, and if you want to stay informed on all things caffeine related, feel free to hit that subscribe button. I post new videos every Tuesday night and one on the weekends. And if you're looking to show more support for the channel, I do offer channel memberships. You can hit the join button down below to find out more details. But if you're not someone who likes monthly memberships, you can always feel free to just hit the thanks button as well. It's a new feature rolling out from YouTube, so be sure to check it out. And in today's video, we're going over the Monster Ripper. Yes, another drink that was released overseas many years ago and very popular overseas as well. Everyone's always asking me, can you review the Ripper? Can you review the Ripper? And I always have to tell people, no, I am in the US and I don't have access to it. But now a couple of drinks have popped up at the Dollar Tree that actually were overseas exclusives, but now they're in the US. And if you didn't see my video last week, I did just do a video on the Monster Lewis Hamilton flavor because it did show up at the Dollar Tree. When I was at the Dollar Tree, I also picked up this Ripper, and in that video there, I noticed that there was a sleeve on the can, and I took the sleeve off only to find out that it had all the labeling from the overseas version. Therefore, I did notice that there is a sleeve on this one. So in this video, I am actually gonna take a look at the can, take off the sleeve to see what the stats are, see where this can is coming from, give you all the information on what's in the drink because that's what I always do, finish off with a taste test to see what we've all been missing out in the US. Timestamps and chapters down below so you can go where you wanna go. All right, so before we actually take off the sleeve, let's go ahead and take a look at the nutrition facts panel. You're gonna see this has 180 calories, 0 fat, 75 milligrams of sodium, 45 grams of carbs, 42 of those grams are sugar, and 31 out of those 42 are added sugar, which means the other 11% is coming from the juice in here, which there is actually 20% juice in this drink, which is almost unheard of in the US at least. Most of the juice lines only have about 5% juice in them, and some of the other companies might go up to 10%, but that is few and far between. So most of the juices only have 5%, but this one has 20%. And from what I heard from my research that I was doing, it used to actually be higher than 20%. They actually went down to 20% in that overseas version, but from that 20%, you are getting 11 grams of sugar plus 31 grams of added sugar for a grand total of 42 grams of sugar. Zero protein, 6% of your daily value of potassium, 270% of your daily value of B2 and B3, 240% of your daily value of B6, and 520% of your daily value of B12. Now let's go ahead, we'll take a closer look at this can and we'll rip off that sleeve to see what it looks like. Now in looking at the can, where is the can? Here's the can. It's pretty straightforward. Looks like all the cans do in the US. Regular Monster speech on the side. But now let's rip off this sleeve. Rip off the sleeve. That was coincidental. Oh wow, yeah, so actually, okay, so mostly the same kind of look to it. When we turn around to the back, that's where you see they have the different nutrition facts panel and ingredients listed. A little bit of a different format than what we have in the US. And oddly enough, the Lewis Hamilton one, even though it was from a different country, I think it was from the UK because it was in English. This Ripper, it's not in English at all. It looks like it has some translations on the top for the carnitine. And the word energy converted on the front. But then when you look at the back, and I'll actually try and put some pictures up here too. Pictures are always easier to see than holding it up to the camera. But yeah, it is in actually a different language. I am not very versatile in other languages, so I'm gonna look up some of these words when I'm done editing, and I will just put up here what language this can is in. or languages. But it does say Monster Energy Limited, South Bank House, Barrow Street, Dublin, Ireland. So that's where the main offices are for this. But it is imported or distributed in Romania, and that is distributed by Coca-Cola because Coca-Cola is the distributor for Monster. But then it also has imported information, and from the imported information, it's imported from someplace else. Oh, but it's produced in Serbia. So yeah, so there's lots of information on here. I'm gonna take a picture of this. I'm gonna put it up there because me reading it to you is much slower than me just putting it on the screen. You can pause it, you can look at it. We gotta get this video rolling. And here, I already showed you the can. Who wants to see the can? We gotta speed this video up. Let's just taste it out, guys. Got ourselves a nice yellow color here. Get some international flavors here to taste out for you guys. Wow, there's a lot going on there that I wasn't expecting. For your carbonation, you're getting a medium carbonation out of here. I don't know if I've had any Monster drinks that were in that medium to high category, because most of their drinks are super strongly carbonated. The only thing that wasn't strongly carbonated was either the Nitros or the Monster Maxes, which were nitrogenated water. But yeah, so this actually has a light, well, besides the non-carbonated flavors. Obviously their rehabs and stuff have no carbonation. But for a carbonated beverage, they are giving you like a medium carbonation. And I'm guessing that's because of the juice. Like even in the juice line, I thought that some of the juice line were medium to high to close to high. But most of the juice line from Monster, in the US at least, they're usually only putting like 5% juice in there. This Ripper has 20% juice. And I think because they're giving you more juice, you're not really getting as much carbonation out of it. But there's just something about the juice that is making it a little bit more lightly carbonated, which I'm always a fan of. Low to medium carbonation's always been my thing. As for your sweetness, this is a tough one. I would say it's medium to high, closing in on high. But then when I took that second sip, it did hit that high category. But then the citrus was pulling back a little bit. But then it still was sweet. So I am gonna hone in and say that you're getting a high sweetness on the low end of high, because they're also giving you a decent amount of citrus in here as well. And for your flavor profile, I am actually going to say they are giving you a high flavor profile. There is a lot going on in here. There's a lot of tropical flavor. There's a decent amount of sweetness, but then there's also a decent amount of citrus in there. So they are giving you a bunch of acidity as well. Not to mention, they also have a little bit of that Monster flavor in there, which I am usually not much of a fan of, but it is subtle and in the background, and I think it is being overpowered by all of those other flavors that are going on in the drink. And for those flavors, the best way to say it is that it is kind of a tropical flavor, or it is a tropical flavor. And for those tropical flavors, the one that stands out the most, which is not super strong of a flavor, I would say it is a strong tropical flavor overall. But for those tropical flavors, I can taste a little bit of the pineapple, and I wouldn't go on and say this is a pineapple drink. I would say that their white pineapple is a much more solid, strong pineapple drink. This is much more of a tropical drink. I can just taste a little bit more of the pineapple out of all those tropical flavors. So where's it going to be going on the Caffeine Man rating chart? Well, I do like the tropicalness of it. Tropical isn't something that I usually pick up when I have so many other flavor options that I like, but I don't dislike tropical. And I think what's making this flavor a little bit better for me is that 45 grams of sugar. I think anything that has a flavor, any kind of fruity flavor or any kind of flavored drink that has a decent amount of sugar in it usually tastes better. It's just usually the original flavors. If the original flavors have too much sugar, I'm like, ugh. But you give me a fruity flavor or a tropical flavor with a lot of sweetness in it, I'm usually a fan. And I am actually going to give this an 8.7. I think it's a pretty good tropical flavor, and I am curious if they're going to be bringing this over to the US or if it is just a one-time thing to sell down their stock. But to me, for those two flavors that came from overseas to here and are at the Dollar Tree, I think they're pretty good options. We'll see what they do in the future. You know what they're probably going to do? They're probably just going to repackage them and call them something else. That's what they're probably going to do. They'll come out with a new flavor and they'll just name it some random name, and they won't make it red and yellow. They'll just put it in a different packaging altogether, and they'll call it like Smasher or Crasher. Yeah, they'll call it Crasher because, like, you know, it'll be the Lewis Hamilton edition, but it'll be Crasher for like when they crash cars in Formula One. Not that he's crashed cars. I'm sure he has. I don't watch Formula One to know. Or maybe they'll call it Speedster. That's not really all that cool of a name though. And everyone will be like, oh, that Crasher tastes really, really familiar. What's that Crasher taste like? And people are like, oh, it tastes similar to that Lewis Hamilton. It's like, oh, you know what they did? They didn't want to bring that whole formula over there, over to the US. So they took almost all of it and they put it into the Crasher flavor. Crasher? Crasher? I even forgot what I called it. They better not come out with that name. What am I talking about? Did I already put this on the chart? I already put this on the chart. So I am, I'm not sure what I'm doing. I'm ending. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're looking to pick these up and you live in the United States, you can find them at the Dollar Tree. That's where I found this drink, as well as the Lewis Hamilton. If you are not in the US, then it's probably in stores near you, although some people, I've read in some comments and stuff, have been saying that the Ripper was discontinued, so maybe they discontinued it here and then sent us all the discontinued cans. I do not know, but maybe they're just changing over their packaging. That happens a lot. They change over their packaging, it comes off the shelves, and then like months later, it shows up again, brand new packaging. Who knows? I'm just telling you where I found it. Until next time, have yourselves a great day. Or night.